So the next thing I need to do to get prepared for this geothermal system is going to be core drilling down there through into the utility room. Now, if you guys remember a few videos ago, I used a core drill rig to core drill up on my gable ends and over my parents' house with a 6-inch core bit. So for this situation, we don't need that big of a core bit. So I got a smaller core drill from BLUEROCK, and let's take it out and see what it's all about. So just like with the other core drill, it feeds water through a hole in the shaft there. You can hook it up to a garden hose. This seems a lot more efficient for doing something like this because I only need to drill a 2-inch hole, but I'm thinking 3 inches just to make sure. The geothermal pipe that's going through is 1.5 inches, but the outside diameter is more like 2 inches. So I guess 2.5 inches would be ideal, but I figured 3 inches should do it. So this is a kit that I got from them, which has 1, 2, 3, and 4-inch bits. So we'll be using this 3-inch bit, and like I said in the last video, this is the kind of teeth you want for cutting through rebar, which there's a good chance that I will go through rebar. But the whole purpose of getting this one was because it's much more portable and you don't have to set up a 1/2 inch anchor bolt either. And another neat thing about this is on the back it's got a little bubble, so if you're drilling down you can know where plumb is. And if you don't need that on the back, which I don't really because I'm not drilling down, I'm drilling horizontal, you can unscrew that, and there's like this threaded spot where you can put this on to make your life a little bit easier so you can push better. I guess I'll utilize that because I don't need that bubble on there. It's got 2 speeds. So the only drawback to a core drill like this is that it doesn't have a pilot bit. The reason for that is that hole in the shaft is for using it with water. So basically you can have one that either uses water or has a pilot bit. And to be honest with you, I think I would prefer being able to put water in it, because that's a big thing with core bits. They make a lot of dust and it wears these bits out a lot less if you can keep them wet. So there's several different ways you can get this started without using a pilot bit. One method is to angle it so just part of it is going in until you start going in, and then you angle it down just a little bit more. So in other words, you start out like this, just enough to get it started, and then as it's going into the concrete, you tip it down until it's 90 degrees. But I think on this ICF wall, I can pretty much just start right in the foam, and the foam is soft enough that it'll bite really quick and go in, and as soon as it gets into the foam, like 1/8 of an inch, it'll guide it the rest of the way. That's my theory anyways. I'm thinking that'll work. The other way that you could do this is to take a board and drill a 3-inch hole in it, and then put the board up on the wall and use that to start it with. All you're trying to do is make it so it doesn't wander around as you start. As soon as it gets into the wall, even 1/8 of an inch, then it's not going to wander around anymore and you don't need to guide it anymore. Well, that was easy. wasn't too bad. I mean, it's not as luxurious as mounting it and not having to push on it, but it definitely did the trick. It wasn't too strenuous and it was pretty quick. This drill has a clutch, but I never got it jammed up enough where it needed it. This drill came in a kit with the 4 different bits, 1, 2, 3, and 4 inch, and I think the whole kit was just under $600 for it. So it doesn't take too many times of renting one of these to equal that. And plus, like I said in the last video, I don't even know if you can rent one that has these kind of teeth on it that actually cut through rebar. So I'd say if you have at least 2 holes to drill, buying one of these would probably be worth it. Now, I could have set the other drill up and gone through all the effort to put the 1/2 inch anchor in and cut the foam away around it, but I specifically didn't want to do that because this is a smaller hole and I don't think it's worth doing that, because that's a lot of work when you go through all that. Yes, it's a lot less work once you're set up, but in the meantime, just the whole adventure is a lot more work and a lot more time. So we need to get all this stuff out of the core bit, and then we need to drill another hole right next to this one about 8 inches to the left, and then we're going to drill another one up about 16-18 inches somewhere up in there for electrical conduit for my solar panels. The water pressure just pushed it out as soon as you hit the trigger. Centrifugal force just helped it a little bit. So I found that by turning this valve on just a little bit, just cracking it, that's all you really need. You don't need the full force of the water. Just let it dribble like that, that's it. That's all you need. So again, that was pretty effortless. I don't think I hit rebar that time either. Somehow I got lucky both times. One thing I think that would help a lot with this drill is if this was at shoulder height, then you could put your whole body into it, you could lean into it. But being that it's like right on the ground here, I was trying to put my knee up against the back here and push it. And I found that that worked the best, but you need a nice amount of pressure going that way. So it's not totally convenient the way that I'm doing this right now, but I think in the right place, you could make this a lot easier. Like if you were in the basement and this was 4 or 5 feet in the air, I think it would be a lot easier to push on this because you could put your whole body into it without stressing yourself too much. Because like it's 6 inches off the ground and I'm trying to put pressure on it and this stone is loose, so I'm like losing my grip and stuff. But it did the trick, and if I was to use my other drill, I'd still be cutting out the foam right now. I wouldn't have even started on these holes yet. So this is a lot faster.
close it.